should start.
Yeah.
I mean, it never sounded like that when it started up before.
Christian, I suggest you go put some lipstick on.
I'm not doing the lipstick. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Booster Jaden YouTube channel. Today we're at the storage lockup with TM-SQAURE. We're going to have a look at TM-SQAURE and maybe go for a little sneaky little boost, but probably not. Probably just go through it today and then we'll do something next week. Let's get into that video. Let's start by doing a cold start. So first I'll remove the cover out of the way so that we don't run it over on the way out. For some reason, which I'll put the camera down so that you can see it down here, I have to put all these mats down because to get into my unit you have to put these mats down because the unit's on a slope. So I put all these rubber mats down to help protect TM's lip, because you don't get a second chance with carbon fibre. That'll get us out without any damage at all, which it seems to work. But now we'll do a cold start. So I'll take the key. So here we have the two systems, TM and Daily Swift, which both of them are running good. And they're both back ready for the Booster Jaden YouTube channel. Let's start with the TM-SQAURE. So let's start with the engine. So I've already pre-done the hooks to get that off. Hook it up under there. When it went away because it had coolant leaking on the floor, which was turning to a rustic looking fluid and then hardened on the floor. And then there was oil leaking, water leaks, as you can see the ring there. And then there was more water leaking up here. Well, some of that might be from the Daily Swift from when I had her in here. And then I told my mechanic about it, and he was like, okay, bring it in, let's do one of those leak down tests, whatever they're called. And I'll link the video so that you can check that out at what was happening before we got it back, if you haven't seen it already. We had coolant spewing out of the exhaust, green kind of rusty looking coolant, and then we also had a leak right underneath, which it's still leaking, but it's clear, so that's okay. We've got the RRP middle pipe, which there is a tag on it, but I can't get to that. No. Quite interesting how put together this car is. And then we had all the tyres look inflated, yes. Alright, and then we had obviously the coolant coming out of the pipe here, which luckily it's left no long lasting damage to anything. I think we caught the problem very early. Up the front here we had, it just wasn't running right. It didn't idle right, it didn't sound right, it wasn't boosting right. Coolant, I think it's damn right nearly out of there. We had, what else was wrong with it? We had, let's check the oil, because I haven't checked it for a couple of days. But in saying that, I haven't exactly touched it. Right. Let's have a look. I don't know if you will be able to see that very good. Where is it? Oh, you just can't see it on camera, but I can see it and it's clear. The coolant is a bit low in there, but we can see a little bit in the tube, and well, it hasn't leaked out, and there is a bit of heat on the pipe, so I'm guessing that there's pressure there. Oh, and it doesn't overheat, but we'll get to what it runs at shortly. Everything was hooked back up, and then it came back to me. The mechanic took it away for 3 months, stripped the engine down as seen on Instagram, which I'll leave the link on the screen so you can go check my Instagram, where all the updates went over the time that the car was gone. It went away for, yeah, just on 3 months. We got it back, and then, well, it broke down again. So what did happen? Well, what happened was TM basically threw a head gasket, blew a head gasket, whatever. It went to the mechanic where it got a full brand new gaskets kit. So it got every single, like it got exhaust one, so you can see the new gasket on there. We got the new gasket on the top here, the rubber one that seals this in. We're going to actually have this painted as well. We're going to have it painted in the yellow, and then have TM engraved into it. I've already arranged that, so that's getting sent away shortly. We've got all the bits and pieces, wiring that was a mess, all sorted, and everything all hooked back up again. We did get the greedy expander tank put on it at the same time, which was quite cool. We had a lot of problems with gauges when it came back, but we'll come back to gauges. So it had the head gasket and pretty much every single gasket and seal from there up done with perm seal steel grade gaskets, which are turbo safe. So we had the Corso square brace put on. Mechanic welded 2 new holes and bolts for a permanent installation that the cert people would be happy with. So we got that brace on it now. All the fluids got flushed and changed. When the brake line broke, it dumped every single bit of fluid out of the brake reservoir all underneath the car, all over the poor SBR race floor. And then we had all the oil from the whole engine went everywhere as well. And then we had all the coolant went everywhere, and it was a gusher apparently. She gushed everywhere, so I'm told. I think those are all the fluids it takes, coolant, oil, brake fluid. I don't think it takes any other fluid. Electric steering, it has aircon, but that's ice cold, I can promise you that. We've got the Corso top brace that's been installed, but that was installed when the roll cage got done. And then we did have this pivot volt stabilizer put in it right before the lockdown for New Zealand, level 4, March. And, well, I haven't really done much with it to know. This is only really my 2nd or 3rd time really hanging out with the car since April, March. I think something we're missing from TM is bass. I think TM needs a shit ton of bass because there's no sub in it. Still sounds alright though. But we'll need to get a sub, which we've actually got TM covered in my secret drawer here, which I'm going to blur. No, I'm not. There's a sub in here somewhere. Suzuki Sport, some cool seatbelt covers, Alpine Subwoofer 1200, that'll do. With the nice controller to get it all going, plus the power pack and all that other stuff, and lots of wires. Alright, so my camera died, but I've got another camera now rolling. We're going to start it now. We have talked about the engine and all the little bits that got fitted. There's a lot of mist, but what was supposed to be getting done on top of that was CVs and the new downpipe, which they were not completed. The mechanic said to me the day I got it back, he was like, I need a break, I've had enough, bring it back in 1 month and we'll sort it out. What then happened was I then took the car back and, well, it all turned to custard. When I drove it up to the other workshop to do some work on it, I went to leave, and then there was a loud metal on metal sound coming from down in there. That immediately discontinued starting it, and that meant that it went straight back to the mechanics. So we went without it for 3 days. After that, 2 nights at the sponsor and 1 night at the mechanics, and it turned out to be the little metal thing that you get down, where is it? That big main pulley down in there. I'm not going to be able to get you down there to see it, but it's down there where my finger's pointing. It's down there. The big main pulley, it needs to be changed to a harmonic balancer because it can't handle the amount of power that's going through it. So when the CVs and new downpipe get made, which it was supposed to be getting made last week, and now it's been put off, which is alright. So we're going to do the CVs and downpipe at the end of this month, and we're also going to do that harmonic balancer. We'll do another full service on it, and then we'll get the brakes bled up again because they're a bit spongy, and we will be going to an auto electrician to get this fan controller thing sorted, which Alex, previous owner of TM, reckoned that it was something to do with this. I investigated, which is what I was doing the day that it went back to the mechanic and broke down. It had some broken fuses, which Chris, my sponsor up at Cooper Car Groomers, in Upper Hutt there, 39 Park Street, also on Instagram and Facebook, check him out if you want to get your car cleaned. He put a new fuse on that for me, and we hoped that that would get the controller sorted. No, didn't get it sorted. So it can go to an auto sparky to have that done when I can afford it. And then I did have a problem with gauges. So the water sensor, when the car came back to me, the water sensor just spun at 140. It didn't actually do anything. Here's the water sensor for the, where does it go? It's down here where my finger is, here. Oh, can I get you in there to see it? So the water sensor there, as you can see, it actually comes off the radiator. And then it goes into this one, which does the water. But there was a bit of confusion with some of the other wires. So we had to go in through this hole. Oh, and look at that. The mechanics cleaned all the lip out for me as well from all the oil that got dumped. Oh, very good. I'm happy about that. So in here, down here, you'll see on that sandwich adapter there, I can't hold my phone in there and get this in there, but I'm going to try. This wire here, that's the sensor for the oil temperature. And then we had to run it up through the grill, and it connects. Oh, it connects into there somewhere, but I don't remember where. It doesn't matter anyways. The point is that all the gauges are working. And with that, let's get into it and get it started. We turn the key. all the gauges flip. This one does a flip. And then once all the gauges have done their flip, push the start button. And then we're back when before one of the last videos we did on this car was on the greedy iTouch. You see the revs, how they're well, obviously because the engine's cold, they're up a little bit, but they were bouncing between 100 revs with nothing running when the head gasket had gone. Like, those numbers were so inconsistent. See, at the moment it's sort of consistent to what it's doing. They weren't before, they were all over the place. And that water temperature that says 36 there, the maximum it got up to was 99. This thing nearly boiled. I seen this gauge was all the way up near the 100. It was, yeah, pretty freaky. But it is back. This carbon gear knob, look at this. Just spins around. The more cheap Chinese problems. All the carbon's peeling off here, which needs to be put back on, sorted, or wonder if we can actually nicely just pull that off. Like that. Oh, she looks naked. Yeah, I'm gonna put this carbon gear knob's gonna go on the Daily Swift, and we're gonna put the red SQAURE one that belonged to TM, we're gonna give it back to it after all that time. Okay, so I take back what I said about this being cheap Chinese. I just actually tightened it up, it was just loose. So with that, we've got our iTouch here, and how are things running? 56, see the revs? They're pretty close together. It's got plenty of pressure, plenty of oil pressure, plenty of everything pressure. It's very low on petrol though. And no, I'm not putting gas in it because I'm not using it. And until I'm using it properly. Yeah. So, to wrap it up really, TM is running good. However, we cannot idle it like this anymore. TM, you jump in it, you start it up, you take it on a drive. You don't sit there and idle and let it warm up and all that other stuff, because it will overheat if you leave it for too long, and it's not fair on the engine and all that other stuff. It's a race car, but it's good to have it back, and it's good to know that after everything it put me through, it doesn't hate me, which is nice. However, you know, it's all just little things really that kinda, you know, make it a bit different for me, like this bit of carbon which needs to go back on here. And there we go, all back on. It's still not perfect, gonna have to double side tape it, but the car's been apart so many times since I've had it. Like, the whole interior's been stripped once, the whole engine's been stripped another. It's good. It's all running pretty good. I don't want to spool it up too much because it's got no gas in it, but it's good. So now that we have got TM Swift running right, let's have a listen under here and show you. I don't like hearing that to it, eh? I like to hear it like a nice tick. like that. But then you can come back to the exhaust and just have a listen, have a feel. I don't think it's, I don't know, I mean, I just hate seeing smoke in general, so when I see that, I actually think it's still got that problem. But you know, if the mechanic said it's good, it's good. I'm just too paranoid for this car, that's what it is. But that's alright. We now start our journey in it again, as it will now be returning back to the YouTube channel from this week. So all of the gauges are good. Hear that? And look at a nice, perfectly then smooth idle. It's in somewhat semi-consistent. Yeah, see, I don't like seeing it dropping 20 to 30 at once. It needs to be dropping about 10 to 15 at once. Water temperature's at 70, so we will now hit the fan. Oh, 71. Look at that. Filthy. This car is absolutely filthy. Look at this. Ferocious dust. Look at this. Oh, yuck. Look at all of this. Finger marks and oh, yuck. Look at that. Stains and basically stained up bloody everything. So I think TM will need to go off to detail soon, but not till she's finished. When she's finished, she'll be going off for one hell of a detail. But I have never ever cleaned this car. I haven't even washed TM once since I've had it. But that's good. I'm happy with that. I'm happy to leave it there, 72, which is, you know, where it generally sits. I'm happy with that. And hopefully TM continues to perform well. And we get, you know, some good fun out of it, because it is a cool car and I would like to see it hit the track. I want to try and get a company in New Zealand to sponsor it though, but you know, it doesn't really matter. It only has to, you know, look good for me, but I would like to see it showed off a bit more than, you know, just my YouTube channel. Alright everyone, that's gonna do it. The sun is so bright on my eyes. Alright everybody, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed having a quick catch up on TM, and now we know that TM is definitely returning back to our channel. As I said, CVs, downpipe, harmonic balancer are next. By the mechanic, I'm gonna be up to, oh, you know me, I'm always up to something. There's still a lot of parts to go on that car. There's still a lot of electrical, there's still braces, there's still all sorts to go on that car. We've still got little bits and pieces going on with the daily Swift. And yeah, I've got no real idea at what the next videos are, but when I know, you will. Anyways, follow me on Instagram if you're not already. I'll leave it right here, and I'll leave the link in the description. Also, if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, because I am trying really hard to make this channel a success, or at least make it look cool. You know, TM's the star of this channel, and she hasn't been here for 3 months, and I have seen my channel jump from 20 subscribers to 80 subscribers in that time, and quite a lot of you haven't seen the TM Swift yet. So with that, hopefully we get some good content coming out over the next couple of weeks. I'm trying to bring out 2 videos a week, but it doesn't always happen. Often what will happen is I'll get exceptionally stressed, pull my hair out and go into a complete shutdown for a week, which isn't good. I don't know, that car's, it haunts me, but it's back and now we can do stuff with it. With that, have a good day, night, wherever you are in this world, and I'll catch you very soon in the next video on the Boosted Jaden YouTube channel. Peace out.